Hi, this is Beck with the Scholarly Equestrian, and today we're going to go over rigging up a Western saddle. So we have our front cinch, rear cinch, and then a breast collar. So I drop all this stuff. I usually have it up here locked. The one thing to notice is I do not have the strap between the hind cinch and the front cinch. Normally you would have that on. I'm not actually going to be riding him in this today, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But we're going to go over to the other side, and I'm going to ask him to move over. Come on. It's the wrong way, buddy. Thank you. So that I have enough space and he doesn't squish me when I go to put this on. So I'm going to grab the front cinch, and you want to do the front cinch up first so that the saddle's on secure. So if they do wiggle around too much or something happens that causes them to run forward or anything where they're not here, the saddle's not going to come underneath them. It's not going to fall off and get tangled up in their legs. So I'm going to put this around. Now, some people will do one loop. Depending on the length of the latigo really varies on how many loops you do, how secure you need things. So if I were to just keep it like this and this loose and everything, I don't have any holes down here, I would do what's known as the Texas T. So I come around in front of itself, up through the ring, and I would come up and then through the loop I just made and pull it snug. So that's one way to secure your front cinch. Or if I were to go through again, get this through, and I'll pull it snug, and then I have a hole there, and then I have some more too. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna pull this nice and taut so this secures up to there. I'll leave that for the time being, and as I go through and do the rest of it, the saddle pad is going to compress, the horse is going to deep puff a little bit, and so this will come a little bit looser, and I can come around and check it again and tighten it up as I need. So the other one that's super important that I want to talk about is the hind cinch, because a lot of times I see people where they have it really loose and it's hanging like this. And as you can see, that's not even an option for this guy because he's still big. But what happens is if they're hanging really loose like that, they can get their hind legs or even their front legs sometimes caught up in that cinch, right? So we want to put this on. And I'm going to bring this a little bit forward. And you can see it's nice and snug on there. I would actually maybe even add in a half a hole down or something on one of the sides just to make it slightly looser, but I can still get my hand through. It's not being as snug as your front cinch, but it is close. It's going to hang onto that saddle. And the purpose of the hind cinch is to keep this from moving and from popping up, especially if you're doing long rides up and down hills or you're roping cattle or something else. It's to keep your saddle in place. So if you're hanging down and everything, it's not doing anything other than being potentially dangerous for you and your horse. So the last thing to put on is the breast collar. So I'm going to come around the front here to grab it off the other side. So when I'm done riding or I'm not in use of the breast collar, I have it just kind of hanging up off the side. This way it doesn't drag, doesn't get caught up on anything. So I'm just gonna undo this and this clip. So you can see here, you got three pieces. You have your left and right, and it's gonna come around, sit in front here. This one will come up to this ring on this saddle. Every saddle is set up a little bit differently, so you have to see where it might connect to your saddle and then how tight you make it. So you don't want it hanging too low, but you don't want it so tight that if they were to put their head down, it's going to push into them. So I'm actually going to loosen this up just a bit on this side. And I'm not buckling that just yet. I'm going to take this one. It's going to go between the legs. And then again, if you have one or two loops, you're going to put it on a loop. If there's two, you'll put it on the front. If there's only one, you'll put it in the one that's in the middle. So now I'm going to look at this and see, because he is so big and he's young, this guy is, every so often I have to change everything because he's still growing. So I'm actually going to make this looser on this side and off of the off side here too. I'm going to loosen it up. And then if I were to actually go out and do much, I'd probably loosen the middle as well. because as you can see, it's kind of high up and it's right at his throat. So the purpose of the breast collar is to help, again, keeping your saddle together, is keep it from shifting and sliding back, especially if you're doing a lot of mountainous riding. So having it at the right level, but not too tight, not too high or low, will have your breast collar doing its purpose without getting in the way of you or your horse. So that is how you saddle up with the Western saddle, putting on the cinches, as well as making sure your hind cinch is the proper snugness. Thank you and have a great day.